Bit of a random update because, as you probably noticed, I didn't do one last month because I didn't really achieve too much. It's probably the truthful answer. But as you can see, more the front part, the engine is out the hole at the moment. That would mainly be due to the fact that we've actually started building an engine. So that's about halfway at the moment. So taking this one out, ready for it to slide straight in, also means I can do a couple of other jobs while it's out. One of the jobs I've done is I've run a vacuum line from just under here. He will be clamped up there and clamp the length of his way down. He runs down and into the car, along with the transmission line. I think we had the front transmission lines in last time. I've now crimped the front down so they're solid. The hoses for the front have been ordered with Hydroscan, just waiting on confirmation. To be honest, I only got ordered mid last week, just due to my mate's time and stuff. He wasn't able to get out here to carry on helping me until last weekend. So I've got a lot more motivation now the engine's halfway and stuff. To be honest, we've been working away with that really. A lot of last month was cleaning engine parts. You know, every bolt, cleaned all the threads, took all the paint off the old engine because the engine had been painted red, it had been painted orange, and it had been painted black, but like all stacked on top. And some bolts you could barely see where there's so many layers of paint, so I had to chisel all that off. So we'll show you the hydraulic lines. Not hydraulic lines, you know what I mean. The transmission lines are those big pipes in there. That's proper hydraulic pipe, that is. So it's well overkill. They said that at work and stuff that it's beyond what's needed. That sort of pipe there can hold over sort of 3,000 psi. But my thinking was, it's solid, isn't it? It's passengers can get in, people can kick that pipe as much as they want, and they're never going to damage it. It's pretty golden really, and it's good. Whereas copper gets knocked about a lot, which is why any copper pipes I've tried to tuck in and out as quick as I can, like down here. So here's the other vacuum line. Sorry, that vacuum line I was just showing you a minute ago. I've ran him down here, so he's heading off to the back of the box to provide vacuum for the box. See if we can find where the outlet is. He's just down there. I'm not great at bending pipe, as you can see. Didn't quite end where I wanted. This is probably the main reason really I got someone else to make these nice hydraulic pipes. So you can see where they come out, and they're quite neat. And off they go under the car, and then they all come through underneath. That should be, going by my little drawings, that should all be under the seat and out of the way. If not, we're gonna there'll be no passengers. Sod them. They can watch from behind. Some other cool things. My mate did some 3D printing for me. So I needed 2 more switches in the car. I really didn't want just random switches. I tried making a little aluminium panel that would sit behind the shifter. So I needed on my 2 little switches. I wanted one for the the line lock. I needed one for the transmission lockout on the torque converter. And I'd used up all my switches on the roof, so I needed 2 more switches. I made a little rubbish aluminium panel that would sit behind here, but it wasn't clever. So my mate made me was this nice little switch panel that goes on the side of my shifter. I do have a finishing plate for it. I just haven't done that yet because I need to do some wiring underneath him. But it should give me some nice switches, like very easy to hand, especially for the line lock. I kind of started thinking, because I did have the line lock originally up there on the overhead panel. But I was kind of thinking that when your one hand's, down here, shifting it into second and stuff, I kind of want it straight away ready to switch that switch off. If you get any problems, the last thing I want to do is let go of that and then scramble around above my head and turn the wipers on and press random buttons while I try and find the right one. So having it here is pretty useful. I'm going to ping it. Along with that, he's also made me a nice little overhead panel for lights. I think this is wicked. So the underneath piece follows the contour of the roll cage, and then with the front panel piece that has a couple of lights on him. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna have the red one will turn on when I turn the line lock on, just so I know it's engaged. I'm probably gonna have like a shutout button as well, like an emergency light switch, so normal driving I can't accidentally turn on the front brakes. But I'll probably have that sort of after the light, so then the light would still light up to tell me, oh, you flip the switch. The middle light, the orange light there with the picture of the fan on it, that's going to be for my electric water pump. So I've decided to go electric water pump, and I'm going to wire that in such a way that he'll run, that light will only turn on after the relay, like after the fuse sort of thing. So in theory, if the old water pump packs up, I like to hope it's going to take the fuse out, which will then turn the light off. So I should get some indication. Obviously, the temperature gauge will rapidly tell me, but I feel like a light turning off would also help. The green light is going to be for the transmission lockout, you know, the sort of when you're in park to be able to start it, and the blue light is going to be when the transmission locks on in the torque converter. Again, just to give you some indication, I want to do some more research, but it's quite hard to find too much information about these TH350Cs because it doesn't seem that many people fiddle with them for hot rods. When I first got the box back after being rebuilt from Sean, he sort of said that you can engage it when you want, which sounds awesome, but also a little self-engage. I've read a couple of things and I'm not quite convinced they do just self-engage when they hit that RPM. It won't, I don't know. I'm not really sure. So I have a thing, I have to manually engage it. So say if I'm sat on the motorway and stuff, I need to engage that lockout to, like, you know, lower the ratios and stuff. Otherwise it's, you know, stuff's wearing, isn't it? That's sort of what I've heard, but it's hard to know when you haven't got other people to question about it. I might put a post up on one of the hot rod forums. Trying to think what else I've done this month without being able to, you know, record an engine, because the engine's not here, so I can't tell you too much about that. That's how it works. Trying to keep posts about that quiet, so it'd just be cool when it rolls out. But yeah, so the fan, I'm going to send the fan off to Rusty Wrench Speed Shop. Old Gareth there, he's a wizard of alley welding. He's actually the guy who did all my alley welding on this car to start with. He used to be over at Bennett Built Motorsport. So I need a fan shroud making. I've noticed, this is my Spal fan. You know what I mean? It's a decent fan. It costs a lot of money. And these epoxy fitting kits it come with, I thought when you spend 200 quid on a fan and it says, oh, it comes with a Spal fitting kit, like they'd be half decent, but fuck me, these are shit. Like this back one down here, like he's rattled off. I should have brought a torch if you can't see, but he's not pressed anymore. And all this car's done is be sat on a trailer for an hour. So just being on a trailer rattling around, it started rattling the fittings off. I had to push them all back down. That last one's the only one I haven't pushed back down. So imagine when this engine starts running, that fan's probably going to last half an hour before it rattles off into the front of the engine, which will go down great when that hits all the belts and stuff. So that's a bit annoying, but whatever. So we'll sort that. We're talking with him about some door cards as well, but I've got a big Summit order ready to go. There's the spare engine we've been using as a mock-up. You can see the heads have changed because the heads that were on it are sort of higher compression, so grab them off to go on the other engine, and he's just sitting there. We have about 4 sets of cams here somehow, and we went through and measured every one with the vernier because we had part numbers and stuff, but I was struggling with linking part numbers things. The comp cam, we were able to use that part number. That was pretty easy because it said comp on it. But the other couple of cams, they had part numbers, but without the make of what it was kind of impossible to find out what they actually were to then start getting information on them for their, you know, lift, duration, separation, all that rubbish. All that complicated nonsense that only people in America who proper study this stuff knows. But yeah, so whatever, we found the one that is the tallest and has the longest duration according to the vernier. Chucking that cam in. But yeah, I've got a big Summit order ready to go with things like a brand new distributor, the water pump, electronics, coil, all that sort of stuff. A couple other random bits. I might get a new sump pan, one with a drain on it, because I don't know how we're draining this sump pan yet. When I'm saying sump pan, I mean on the transmission, because it's a bit close on the one side to be able to just drop that pan easily, so it'd be good to drain it first. I'm struggling with dipsticks for the gearbox. So when I bought the gearbox, it came with a what I just thought was a standard dipstick, but that's all that sticks out at the end. Come on, focus for me. That's all that sticks out at the end, and it just says add. And then when I pull it out, it says full, but that's halfway up the tube, or halfway up that lower tube anyway, which can't be right, because then that'd be well above the actual sump pan itself, which seems confusing. Doesn't seem right. Because if you have any leaky gaskets, well, I mean, either way, when you come to change that oil, it would just gush out. So I bought one of these ones. It's a proper cheapo off eBay, and I'm paying the price for it. Oh, it's been a nightmare. So under this, where the stick itself goes through, it was sort of like this, you know, it was flat with a hole in the middle. But obviously the diameter of the tube it comes down was a lot wider. So what was happening is, when it's done a bend and stuff, is it was coming in along the top of the pipe, for say, and then hitting the flat, and then wouldn't go in. So at work we turned it down, and I'm not going to get these two apart, am I? And press fit some hydraulic pipe in to try and lessen the thing it hit, the edge it hit, to try and help guide the dipstick in. But it's still struggling. Any sort of slight angle, I mean, you can see how it just naturally wants to sit up against the one side of the pipe. Any angle and it just hits, and it won't go down that hole, which is rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish. So I'm thinking that's going to have to get added to the Summit order. But also, neither of those two will actually fit the car neatly. The standard one gets stuck on the steel. So I believe he's meant to line up to this hole here, but he's getting stuck underneath here. I could cut some off, but again, being not convinced that dipstick's the right stick, I don't see the point in cutting things off. And that flexi one, he's just like a tiny bit too short to reach a nice sensible place to mount it. Or I can mount him quite vertically, but then I never get the stick out. I think that would also be the problem with that standard one, because they both kind of want to sit. I was trying to get the flexi one to sit here, right on this piece, because then you could almost get it out and like curve it over. But it's still gonna be a hell of a tight angle. What I could really do is a shorter one that finishes like here, like down here, so then you got a lot more pull on it. But it's a hell of a bend. But for that flexi one, I mean, you can almost see the hole it has to go in down there, just behind those fittings. So it's not that much of a bend to come up to here, and yet once it's in there, even just temporarily holding it, you cannot get that fitting to go. You can't get the dipstick to go past that fitting. It's just useless. So that's something I'm still trying to scratch my head about. I'm wondering about cutting one right down and almost running a little diddy dipstick. What I'm thinking is run a little diddy dipstick. It's almost just like this sort of length, and have it so, I don't know, maybe cable ties or something, or just have it almost solid, just that sort of length. Make a little access panel here in the transmission tunnel housing, so I can just pop them open, pull the stick out, see the level, and then it wouldn't be too hard to fill, because you could just make a little pipe that dips in. The more I say it, the more it sounds like a sensible idea. Might do that. It's similar to what I've done on the other side of the box for adjusting the shifter linkage and stuff. So it wouldn't be too hard. Or I was thinking of just running one of those flexi ones. The flexi plate wouldn't even work coming out of there and coming straight up onto this firewall on the inside of the car. It still then wouldn't go back into its fitting, into the fitting, yeah. And the dipstick wouldn't go back into the right place. But I have thought about that, just running it, just have it sat up along underneath the logo or something. I don't know. It's annoying because those flexi ones on, say, Summit, they start sort of $60. It's annoying then to think, oh, I might buy one that's it's not right, or buy one to then cut up. It's a bit annoying. And I thought about cutting up that rubbish one I got down there, but even just with a slight bend on it, it not going back into the box to find my fluid levels seems a bit useless. But from this angle you can see how good of a job Paul did on those lines. They're not, none of them are dead tight yet, but they do all sit quite evenly together. I'm just going to show you where they go back in. So down there is where they enter back into the box. My phone's telling me it's flat, which is helpful. No, thank you. So yeah, all right, that concludes this month. Well, you know, this month, last month, whatever. I don't know. I doubt there's gonna be another video this month. Where are we? We're almost the end of the month. I'm away all next week on a course, so not much is gonna happen, I'm afraid. Might try and get a couple of evenings out here, but would save it for the month after. Hopefully December, there'll be some cool footage. That would be the dream. That would be the dream. Right, cool. Take it easy, basically.